Bartlett digs in. Andy Pettit's ready. Let's do it here in the Bronx. And the first pitch is a strike, and if that's any indication, another generous strike zone by the home plate umpire.
See Andy Pettit on the season. This will be a 6th start, 2-1. Pretty good start to a season so far.
Strike 2.
10 walks. Here's the G pitcher scouting report. Houston, we have a problem. Well, Andy's from Houston, Texas, and his counterpoint, Jeff Neeman's also from Houston. There's going to be some people down in Houston, Kenny. They're going to have trouble who to root for. Slow the Rays down. Obviously, Andy's got a great pickoff move. The Rays run like crazy. Andy and Molina probably a good matchup for the Rays to keep them slowed down. And, of course, Andy's 15-4 against Tampa Bay in his career.
And the pitch to Bartlett is skied to right center and deep, giving chase as Swisher on the run on the track, looking up. See ya! Leadoff home run for Jason Bartlett. That got out in a hurry, and the Rays are on the board.
Jason Bartlett, he's got his home run stroke down this year. He's got 4 home runs. This is his 4th. He hit 1 all of last year. And he's substituting for B.J. Upton in the leadoff spot tonight, and gets the Rays on the board in a hurry. Something out over the plate. He quick stroked it, and this ball kept carrying towards the bullpen and finally went out. It's 1-0.
Count now 0-1 on Carl Crawford. So Bartlett with 4 home runs, as Kenny mentioned, 11 RBIs. And Crawford dumps one into center field for a base hit. Never a good thing. He has stolen a base in 9 straight games, and he's 20 for 20 on the season. An inauspicious beginning for Andy Pettit.
Yeah, he hasn't had Andy Pettit on the mound, though, during those stolen base attempts. There's one out over the plate. Kind of flicks it into center field. I mean, he's not even running hard at first. He's running faster than most guys.
We saw that puzzled look on Andy Pettit's face. This is a decent pitch. Slider down and away. You got him way out in front. Look at that swing. If you're a hitter, that's good hitting, right? Saying if you're a pitcher, you're feeling sorry for yourself.
Well, back in the day when Carl first came up, he couldn't hit like that. He didn't hit many pitches like that. He has learned how to have various swings at the plate, and he's become a much, much better hitter.
Here's the reigning Rookie of the Year, Evan Longoria. The count 0-1 on him. Foul back 0-2. So Andy's throwing strikes, but he sees the Rays already have a run on the board and a runner on first. 35 ribbies for Longoria. That leads the major leagues. Last year he started the season in the minors. They didn't want to start his arbitration clock that early, but then he ended up signing a long-term deal. Was called up after a couple of days. Well, I think he missed 6 or 7 games.
Here's the hitter scouting report on Evan Longoria. What sophomore jinx are we talking about? This guy's leading the American League, or lead the major leagues in runs batted in. He was the unanimous Rookie of the Year last year. April Player of the Month, the first Rays player ever to have that award. He's got 22 extra base hit. That also leads the major leagues. Off to a tremendous start in his 2nd year.
I mentioned that Crawford has stolen a base in 9 straight games. Ricky Henderson back in '83 stole a base in 11 straight games. So 9 straight. Well, that hasn't been done, or any more than 9 straight hasn't been done in 26 years. Time is called. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes.
Back in '83, Ricky Henderson went on to steal 108 bases that year.
And the 0-2. Right back to Andy. Let's see if they get 2. There's one on to first. It's a double play, a 1-4-3 double play. As they like to say, a pitcher's best friend. Let's take a look at the Yankees defense that will be behind. Brought to you by the Home Depot. In the outfield, Damon, Cabrera, and Swisher. That's left to right. Infield, Pena, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira, third to first. And Jeter and Cano have started every game so far this year. Molina behind the plate. Pettit is on the mound. Andy Pettit has thrown 11 pitches in this game. All of them have been strikes. Here's Carlos Pena. His home run off Phil Koch in the 10th inning, the difference in the 4-3 loss last night.
Pena has hit so far this year. He's hit much better at home than on the road, although his home runs are spread equally at home on the road. 6 on the road, 6 at home. But the difference is he's got only 12 hits on the road, but 6 of them are home runs, including the one last night.
Count 2-1. There's a difference.
That is. You know, during the course of the season, that will even out. But you want to be able to hit homers at home and on the road. And as you can see, he can do both. Just incredible bat speed. He showed it to you last night.
Hey, let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. It rained early in the afternoon. What else? 63 degrees, 86% humidity, and the forecast is for mostly cloudy skies. Fouled away.
Well, he talked about the incredible bat speed, and you're going to look at it. Man, that bat came through the zone very quickly, and that was the difference in the ball game in the 10th inning. Carlos Pena, you're getting used to that in the Rays dugout. High-fiving Carlos Pena.
And the 2-2 from Pettit. Just missed a check swing. Did he go? No, said James Hoy. Let's take a look at the entire umpiring crew. Behind the plate is the veteran crew chief Dale Scott, and Jerry Meals at first, Mike DeMuro at second, and James Hoy is over at third. High fly ball, right field. There it goes. 2-0 Tampa Bay. What a shot by Carlos Pena. Halfway up the bleachers and right. That is his major league leading 13th home run of the year.
We talked about Pena being a good fastball hitter. He got one last night. They're trying to come in. Ball runs towards the middle. Look at him look down right away. He knows it. Nick Swisher, the right fielder, almost doesn't even react. Takes one step. He knows it. When you're a pitcher and you see an outfielder go like that after a fly ball, you know you're in trouble.
Pat Burrell fouls it back.
That might be the longest one we've seen this year in that direction. Halfway up the bleachers, maybe a little bit more.
We saw last night Carlos Pena take Phil Koch deep on a pitch that was more outside cornerish. And we talked about him reaching out and diving and hooking pitches. But see the Yankees tonight with Pettit and Molina trying to pitch him in. Most of that at bat. 3-2 pitch. Cut back towards the middle, and Pena got it.
Fouled away. First 5 starts for Andy Pettit this year. He allowed just 1 home run, and here in the first inning he's allowed 2 already. Count 2-2.
You know, with Pena swinging the bat now and hitting home runs at a rapid clip, doesn't take much of a mistake by a pitcher for him to get good wood on and get it out. And tried to get it in, maybe missed the target by a couple inches. And then last night, that wasn't such a bad pitch than what he hit last night from Phil Koch. It was out over the plate towards the outside corner, and he just went out and hooked it into the seats. Here's last night, we were talking about it was kind of away, and then on the outer third, and he still pulled it into the lower deck and right. And then tonight, this pitch is designed to be in, and it's not that bad when you look at it. It's on the inner third. They're trying to jam him, but his bat is so quick, he wouldn't have it.
Just a really good fastball hitter. Always has been.
And here's the payoff from Pettit. Grounded past a diving to Sharon down the right field line. Swisher will field as Pat Burrell stops at first.
You know, you think about the organizations that, including the Yankees, didn't hang on to Carlos Pena. You think the Red Sox were involved, the Tigers, and the Yankees.
You're seeing Andy Pettitte really going for the corners. A lot of these pitches are about thigh high, decent in terms of location, but you know it's the time of the game when you see the Rays, they're just really comfortable in the box, Kenny. And I'm not advocating throwing at guys, but you know when you see guys digging in like that, it's time to make some guys move.
Well, Kimberly Jones asked Joe Girardi how much they needed a vintage Pettitte performance tonight, and Joe said, "quote We need it bad, and if we don't get it, we need to score a bunch of runs." So far, this is not vintage Pettitte by any stretch of the imagination.
And so that means Plan B.
Well, you know, you come out of the bullpen and you're working on just hitting spots, hitting the corners, and you got your game plan in mind, and you're worried about location. But part of pitching is making guys move their feet. And I'm not saying you got to buzz guys and knock them down, but certainly making guys uncomfortable and making them move around and letting them know you're out there, especially when they're digging in and getting good swings like they have this first inning, really makes a lot of sense to me right now.
Breaking ball strike. Now, you were a teammate of Andy's. That's just not Andy's way, though.
Well, Andy can still make guys move. I mean, he can throw that hard cutter in on right-handers and make them move their feet. You know, certainly you don't have to throw at people's heads to make them move. You can throw in off the plate at the belt, at their hands. You really have to read the bats. The Tampa Rays are, you know, they're obviously digging in, leaning out over the plate. They're all getting good swings. They look real comfortable right now.
Zobrist gets the start tonight in right field. Gabe Gross was out there last night. Zobrist is kind of a player who can play anywhere. He's a switch hitter. Gross is a left-hander here. Zobrist has hit better right-handed this year.
Fly ball down the right field line. And that's out of play. Now, Zobrist against left-handers hits .216. Against right-handers, .350.
You know, Singy, I had that talk with David Wells, who had outstanding control when he came over to the Yankees, and it's almost as if you can throw too many strikes sometimes. And we saw Andy come out, and his first 11 pitches were strikes, just on location. And I tell you, the opposing hitters see that. Sometimes you need to force yourself to throw off the plate, especially when you get ahead in the count.
There's a ground ball at third. Pena will go the short way, and that'll do it here in the first. But the Rays, in a 31-pitch inning for Andy Pettitte, scored 2 runs on 2 swings. The first off the bat of Jason Bartlett, a home run. And then Carlos Pena goes yard halfway up the bleachers. It's Rays 2. Yankees coming to bat. The Rays. Hideki Matsui DHs and cleans up, batting fifth and playing second base, Robinson Cano. Nick Swisher's in right field, he'll hit sixth. Batting seventh and playing center field, Melky Cabrera. Ramiro Pena, the third baseman, will hit eighth, and batting ninth and catching Jose Molina.
Here's young Jeff Neeman on the season. This will be his sixth start. He's 2-3, 5.68 ERA, 25 innings, 28 hits, 14-16 on walks to strikeouts. Here is the G pitcher scouting report. Another first rounder. The Rays are loaded. We talked about them finishing at the bottom of the division and getting high draft picks. This is another one, and they like him a lot. And one of six. It's only 6 guys active in the leagues that are 6'9" tall. And I'll give you those 6 names in a minute. And welcome to the Bronx. This is his first start in Yankee Stadium.
In either Yankee Stadium.
First visit to the Bronx. Welcome to the Bronx.
Here's Derek Jeter. Derek has 4 hits in his last 22 at-bats and fouls off the first pitch.
6 active pitchers, 6'9" or taller. Arizona's got 2 of them, John Roush and Randy Johnson. San Diego's got Chris Young. Baltimore's got, Hendrickson with Florida, yes, and I don't even know how to pronounce his name, Michael. Micolayo.
Yeah.
There you go. Never even heard of him.
His first name is Cam.
Cam Micolayo
yeah.
is 6'9". And of course, Randy Johnson's with San Francisco now. He's no longer with Arizona.
Micolayo's a relief pitcher with Baltimore. I think he's had some arm problems, though. I don't know if he's there right now. We'll find out tomorrow, though.
He's still tall.
Yep.
And the 0-2. Fouled away.
Yeah, I walked by Neeman in their clubhouse yesterday. He is a large dude. I mean, he's not only 6'9". I would guess he's going a good 270.
Yeah, they got him listed at 280.
Yeah, right.
6'9", 280. It's a first-round pick in 04, the 4th pick in the nation for the Rays.
Jeter battling.
6'9", kind of a hard, heavy sinker in the low mid-90s, kind of a big hook. Born in Houston, Texas, as I said. Andy Pettit also lives in Houston. Got a battle of Houstonians.
6'9", 280.
Just missed inside.
Fastball so far this first inning. Now the first few pitches up to 94, 93, 94 with that fastball.
Giving out to right center field. And that's going to dunk in for a base hit. Kapler cannot cut the ball off. Jeter will go to second with a double.
Derek Jeter right here. They're trying to go in. That fastball ends up right down the middle, and Derek just laces it in the gap. You see Navarro setting up inside, and Jeter just kind of getting his hands in like he always does. Kapler's got a hard time coming up with it. Jeter never hesitates. As you see Kapler go to get it, got a little tricky hop there, almost checked up on him. Get a little wedge shot into the green. Jeter never hesitated. Excuse me, Michael.
So Jeter with a double. Damon at the plate. And there's a strike. Damon 5 for his last 11. 3 home runs in his last 6 games, so he's 1 away from Nick Swisher for the team lead. Nick is yet to hit a home run here in the Bronx. And the 0-1. Fly ball right field, tagging Jeter. Zobrist back. Jeter will go to third. Throw is cut off, so Damon moves Jeter up. Let's take a look at the Rays defense, brought to you by our good friends at Home Depot. We've got a couple of the outfielders already. The left fielder is Crawford, then you've got Kapler and Zobrist. In the infield, Longoria, Bartlett, Iwamura, and Pena. Navarro behind the plate, Neeman on the mound, and Crawford is the only Raider playing every game this year.
Anytime you get an extra base hit to lead off an inning, as we look at Carl Crawford out in left field. Look what the Rays are doing here. They bring the infield in on the right side. They're trying to cut this run off. Or they feel that Derek leave too soon? No. This is unusual, to say the least. This is a Joe Madden special.
Well, the entire left side of the infield is open because they have Longoria holding Jeter on third, almost like a first baseman. And then there are 3 infielders on the right side. That's an easy RBI. A ground ball is short. And it's right back to the pitcher, so Teixeira does not get it done. And the moves are starting to get a little bit louder for Mark.
The reason why they had Longoria close to third base holding Jeter on, because they didn't want him to get a big lead off of third. And here's a ground ball right back to Neeman, who sticks out that long left arm and comes up with a look, check the runner back at third, and here's a look at the setup defensively. Jeter could not get a big lead because Longoria was holding him on like a first baseman would hold somebody on over at first. You know, this is a way of putting more pressure on the Teixeira as he steps in with the infield in.
Well, here's Matsui. Yankees are now 4 for the last 34 with runners in scoring position.
I don't think I've ever seen a team do that with a 2-run lead. And a number 3 hitter at the plate.
Especially Longoria didn't even move. He didn't even break off the bag, you know, with a secondary move. He just stood there.
You wonder if that shift was more playing with Teixeira's mind than anything.
I was thinking the very same thing.
Watch Longoria on third. He's not even moving.
See, here's the setup here. The infield is in, definitely. About halfway.
He never flinched at all, like a statue. And that clips Matsui. He'll take first.
It looks like it's some sort of a breaking ball to me. You see, he just holds on to it too long. You know, I love my golf analogy. See, we love to play golf. That's a snap hook in the woods. You're trying to throw a good curveball, and you just hold on to it too long and yank it down and in, and Matsui cannot get out of the way.
Off the first tee. That's what I did in Tampa when we played together. Snap hook that first one.
That's right.
Pard the hole.
You got a mulligan. We gave you a mully.
Yeah, no, but I played my first ball.
We found it. That's right.
Yeah, we found it.
Don't get a mulligan in this game.
And Cano takes one up and in.
Well, Neeman leads the team in hitting batters. He's hit 3 so far this year. 3 batters hit in 25 innings. That's up and into Cano. I know nobody's going to charge the mound.
And the count 1-1. Jeter's on third and Matsui's on first. 2 men out, bottom of the first inning, just underway. 2 home runs by the Rays in the top of the inning. They lead 2-0 for Jeff Neeman. Now 1-2.
Here's where the Yankees, as you mentioned, Michael, the fact that they haven't been hitting with runners in scoring position. You know, you hope that it levels out and it's not something that comes and goes from the ball club. Like they'll be on a hot streak of hitting runners in scoring position, and then they'll go for a while without doing it. Because you need that level production to win ball games on a consistent basis.
So the count level at 2-2. Nick Swisher is on deck.
Once again, another deep at bat for Robinson Cano. And last year when he struggled, we saw him swinging a lot of first pitches and early in the count. And he seems to continually get himself deeper in the counts this year, getting much better pitches to hit.
Two-two. Driven out to left center field, but Crawford is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the first inning. No runs, a hit. No errors and 2 men left on base. We've played 1. It's 2-0 Tampa Bay. Games Friday and Saturday, both on Yes. 1:30 start on Sunday. Monday's an off day, and then 3 games in Toronto to meet the Red Hot Jays. My 9 on Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday, 7 o'clock starts on Yes. Gabe Kapler takes a pitch outside, 1-0. Bottom third of the order, Kapler, Iwamura, and Navarro. Fouled away. Kapler left the game for 1 year, while left the field, become a manager in the minor leagues for the Red Sox, and then had the itch to play again. Fouled away, and the thought throughout baseball is that he'd be a really good manager. And the Red Sox were not that thrilled that he ended up managing one of their rookie teams and then leaving like that.
Well, with the Rays now, he's capable of playing all 3 outfield positions. He's in center field tonight. Upton, as Michael mentioned, B.J. Upton not feeling well tonight.
Fly ball left field. Damon. 1 away. Stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. And the pitch to Iwamura is a strike.
Iwamura did not have much in the way of spring training with the Rays. He was playing for the champion Japanese team in the World Baseball Classic. 2nd time in a row they've won the Classic, and Iwamura was on both of those clubs.
Nice pitch right there, Singy. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you had said that early in the ball game, Andy was throwing too many strikes, and they were comfortable. This is, you know, just move a little bit, opens up the outside corner a little.
Andy started out this game with 11 straight strikes. You know, his control has been excellent tonight, but the Rays have really dug in on him. And sometimes, as we said, make him move just a little bit.
Great breaking ball, strike 3. Iwamura down looking.
And could that have been set up by the pitch that moved him off the plate?
Well, no doubt. You're going to see here, we watch Iwamura's first move. A little bit of a buckle. He thinks that ball's inside. Coming back at him again. No, breaking ball. Watch him buckle. He thinks that ball's inside. It ends up almost down the middle. Got a lot of plate. Nice pitch.
Here's Navarro. Remember that study they had? It was either the late 60s or early 70s where they said that a breaking ball didn't break. It was an optical illusion. I thought that one broke.
So did Iwamura
yeah.
on the way back to the dugout.
In the 60s they did it?
Late 60s, I think.
Sandy Koufax is pitching in the mid-60s. Try and hit his breaking ball. Jose got to meet some of the fans up close and personal over there by the box seats.
Andy Pettitte came into this game as a Yankee for his career, 180 and 102. It's a .638 winning percentage. You know, his overall record, 217 and 128 for a .629 winning percentage. Outstanding numbers.
Navarro down on strikes. Molina will tag him out, and a nice rebound inning by Andy Pettitte as he retires the Rays 1-2-3, including 2 strikeouts. The final one, a strikeout of Deanna Navarro. We go to the bottom of the New York Yankees. Well, we go to the bottom of the second inning here in the Bronx.
Now, this is before the game. Nick Swisher getting up close and personal with the fans out in right field. But my point is this. If I'm Joe Girardi or Brian Cashman, I'm going to tell him to cut this out. You know, you can see the dismount there wasn't very solid. And the Yankees have enough injuries. There's enough guys on the and right now he's too valuable to the team. He's leading the team in home runs. He's up there in runs batted in, and you shouldn't be doing that sort of behavior. Shouldn't be tolerated, because if you injure yourself doing something like that, it's just not create more problems for the ball club. It's having enough problems right now. So I know he's enthusiastic and he likes to do it, and he's a good athlete, but I don't think he should be jumping up and down like that over the wall in right field.
And that was not an Olga Corbett dismount.
Well, you know, we've seen stranger things happen in all sports. I think there was a player a few years ago celebrating a game-winning home run, jumped on home plate and hurt his knee and was out for a while. I can't recall who the player was.
Count 2-0. Swisher's been valuable to the Yankees in many ways. He actually sees 4.48 pitches per plate appearance. Count 2-1. 2-2, so there he's going to see 5 pitches. Or 3-1, I'm sorry. That was not a strike. We've explained this before, but you always get new viewers. Every time, right when he steps into the box, he will look up to the sky, and some people think, well, it's a timing device and clears his mind, but what he's really doing, he's paying tribute to his grandparents who have passed away. Looks up at the sky toward them. You'll see right there. That one wasn't it. There you go. It's the 31st time this year he's had a full count. And he extends the at bat.
Like a pre-shot routine, huh? Does it every time.
Was it Jason Kidd who blew a kiss at the rim before a free throw?
(3-2). Popped up, shallow left. Crawford coming in. Do you have any rituals, David?
Lots of coffee.
Yeah.
I told people the best performance enhancing thing I ever did before a game, Michael, was Puerto Rican coffee and about 4 Advil.
The arm went barking, huh?
How about you, Kenny?
People remember I used to pick up 3 pebbles in the booth not the booth, in the batter's box. I've been up in the booth too long. In the batter's box, just to remind myself to get 3 good pitches to hit. Swing at strikes.
Yeah, this new ballpark, there's no pebbles in this booth.
I know. Well.
The 1-0. Fouled away. But there's nothing like what Wade Boggs used to go through. I'm sure you lived that, David.
Oh, yeah, he had some kind of routine. I mean, times a day, go out to warm up, 7:17 every night, back when the games were at 7:30, 7:35 starts.
Now, if you wanted to freak him out, you just stopped him from getting out on the field at 7:17. He would really not like that.
You could really mess with Wade. If he messed up his routine, he could get out of his element.
And his nickname was the Chicken Man because I believe for his entire big league career, that's all he ate. The 2-2 fouled away. It worked for him.
Go to the same restaurant if you got hits. You know, if you had a good game, you got to go to the same restaurant the next day, especially if you're on the road. It just starts to build and grow, and then you almost you can't get away from it. You have to keep staying with that routine.
Good hitting streak. When I was at home, I used to drive to the ballpark the same way every day. Every day. Wouldn't deviate. Leave at the same time.
3-2. And Melky works a walk. Well, fans, it's time for the Toyota text poll. Tonight's question is, which of these hitters, each 25 or younger, is most likely to make it to the Hall of Fame? Text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Number 1, Evan Longoria. Number 2, Nick Markakis. Number 3, Dustin Pedroia. Number 4, Hanley Ramirez. I'll vote the same name I voted yesterday, Evan Longoria.
Those some good players, though. I would. And number 1 looks like number 1 to me. Those other guys are pretty good.
Hanley Ramirez is special.
Well,
all of them are both-way players, too. They're all good defenders as well. It's not just all about the offensive numbers. All those guys are Gold Glove caliber defenders as well.
This will be Pena's last game at third base as the titular starting third baseman. Alex Rodriguez returns tomorrow. Will be in the lineup against the Orioles at Camden Yards. And that game will be right here on Yes. We'll cover it from when he enters the ballpark to when he leaves. So coming back from hip surgery, he spent a while in Tampa in extended spring training. He slid yesterday, came out of today's action without a problem, and had his bags packed and ready to go. Pitch is outside, 1-0.
Talked about Jeff Neeman. There's his pitch count on the night. You know, he's so far this year, he's had 3 good starts, 2 bad starts. He's beat Seattle and Minnesota. In AAA over the last 2 years, he's 21-11 with a 3.78 ERA and 251 Ks and 264 innings. Definitely got a strikeout mode or mentality as a pitcher.
One thing about the #1 draft picks, they usually get pretty good deals to begin with, and organizations like to see that that money and that investment reach the big leagues eventually. And that might be a reason why they traded Edwin Jackson to Detroit to open up a spot for the likes of Neeman or some of the other high draft picks they've had coming through their organization as pitchers.
You believe that guy singing right there, Neeman? He didn't play basketball. 6'9", 280. He did not play basketball. He actually tried out for Houston's Lanier Middle School and got beat out by Emeka Okafor.
Well, there's no shame in that. The guy's in the NBA.
Sent him right to baseball. 6'9", 280, no basketball background.
Now, for all you kids that are watching, and you get down if you get cut from your high school basketball team, just remember, Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, so you can bounce back.
Melky was thinking about going twice. He tried to get a break over at first base there and then slammed on the brakes. Neeman's pretty tall, and looks like it takes him a little while to get rid of the ball towards home plate to unwind that 6'9" body.
Pena toward left. Crawford runs out of room. Is it true, David, that your high school team didn't even have a baseball team?
They did not. No baseball team. I played in summer leagues, which actually kind of helped me. I played when I was 15 years old. I played in a local amateur league called the Van Johnson League that was for college players, 21 and under. So when I was 15, I was competing against college kids. It really helped me. Just trying to hold your own against that competition when you're that young.
Were you pitching all the time, or other positions?
Other positions as well, but I always knew that pitching and being on that mound was what I wanted to do from a young age on.
1-2. Well, what did it bat for Pena? Spoiling a lot of pitches. Why wouldn't your high school have a baseball team?
It was. I think back, during that age, I think it was budgetary reasons. Baseball.
Even then,
it was budgetary reasons. Baseball's not like soccer. You just can't throw a soccer ball out on the field and go kick it around. Baseball, you need all the equipment, the bats, the gloves, the helmets. So back then, the high school just didn't have enough money in their budget to field a baseball team.
They have a football team?
They had a really good football team.
Now that I don't get. It's much more money for football.
That's where the money went.
That's right. And the athletic director was the former football coach, so he didn't. I got the sense he didn't really like baseball. Sometimes you get that with athletic directors, and they have their pet sports. And they have one now, Michael.
Do they?
They do have one now.
Is it thanks to you?
Well, I certainly have helped them out. That's for sure.
And it was that lack, I don't know if you realize this, Kenny, it was that lack of a high school baseball team which, forced the construction of Candlestick Park.
That's exactly right.
Right out in the driveway,
yeah.
Right?
Right in the
backyard.
Backyard. When Dad put the floodlight on the back of the house and we could play night games, wiffle ball in the backyard, that was the highlight of my youth. I'll never forget that day.
Runner goes. Pitches inside, throw to second, not in time. Melky steals second.
Now, Melky was flirting with going this whole time that Pena's been at the plate. And he was thinking about going slamming on the brakes. Now he finally gets it in gear, got a pretty good jump, and Navarro couldn't make up the time. So Melky Cabrera with his 3rd stolen base of the year.
Got a good pitch to run on, too. Breaking ball. Navarro had a hard time, had to reach way over his body to get it.
Melky really playing very good baseball so far this year. That's a good at bat for Ramiro Pena. Foul ball after foul ball, and finally works out a walk. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. CC gets another shot, 1-3, 4.85 against Jeremy Guthrie. 2-2, 5.05, and that is the opening day rematch. Coverage will begin at 6:30 with our pregame show, and right around 7:05, 7:06 first pitch. And as we mentioned, Alex Rodriguez's first game of the 2009 season.
Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, out to the mound. Done a great job with his pitching staff a couple years ago. Of course, the Rays were struggling. Last year, everything seemed to click. They were the only team in baseball that had 5 starters make at least 27 starts. So not only were they young and gifted, but they stayed healthy throughout the whole season. That certainly helps when you have pitchers rolling along, one right after the other.
And the pitch to Molina is a strike.
Just saw a shot of the Rays dugout there, and Andy Sonnenstein was in line to get the win last night. Ended up with a no decision. Certainly had a great game. Right there on the far right, Andy Sonnenstein, and then Matt Garza right to his right. You know, starting pitchers hang together, Singy.
The hitters do too. They're all part of the same team, but they're in different unions.
Pat Burrell, that was an interloper in that group.
And you know what? You know, I like the pitchers on my team, but who's to say that next week they get traded to somebody else? You know what I mean?
You got all 4 starters right there, Kazmir and Burrell's right in the middle. And
well, that's how you trade thoughts about, you know, what's going on in the game. How would you pitch to this guy? How would you pitch to the next hitter? Or what has worked for you against him? And you get all kinds of ideas. And you see the same thing on the Yankee bench.
Grounded left side. There's one on to first. It's a double play. So Molina bangs into a 6-4-3 double play, and the Yankees continue to falter with runners on base. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the 3rd inning here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, and the Tampa Bay Rays lead the New York Yankees 2-0. You're watching the Jason Bartlett leads off the 3rd inning, and the first pitch from Andy Pettit is upstairs on the Modell's scoreboard. 2-0 Tampa Bay. Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the New York Yankees. And a strike.
Bartlett, since the All-Star break of last year, has hit .336. Really come on. There's only one shortstop in the league who had a higher batting average than him last year, and That was Derek Jeter. Jeter hit 300 and Bartlett hit 386 last year. Should say 286 last year. He has come a long way with the bat. And Steve Henderson, the hitting coach of the Rays, deserves a lot of credit. I'm sure Bartlett would agree to that. Hindu. I was talking to him yesterday about a pitcher that they faced when they played the Orioles. It was Uehara, and nobody knew that much about him. And he said he was getting very frustrated with his hitters because they had problems figuring them out. And finally they did, and won the ball game. But he was saying I get all frustrated with these guys. I give them all the preparation, and they don't go out and they execute, and they can't seem to figure out what's going on during the course of the game. And then all of a sudden it kicked in and they won the game.
You see those hitters coaches, they get up close, see them right on that screen. They're just checking out everything they can about their hitters. It's like in between innings when the pitcher's out there, they take a break. Now he's got his game face on, checking out Carl Crawford right here.
And hitting coaches are to the hitters exactly what the pitching coaches are to the pitchers. They are that close to them. Bartlett will run. He's stolen 6 out of 7 this year. Crawford can run.
Carl Crawford offered college scholarships in football and in basketball. Took the money with the Rays, and it's worked out for both. Snap throw to first. Bartlett just got back.
Well, you know it's going to come sooner or later. Molina loves to throw behind the hitters.
Looked like a set play.
Definitely sets it, but watch Molina come with a left-handed batter, come right behind him, stay on his knees and fire that pitch around Carl Crawford. That's one of the situations I've talked about before, Michael, where a left-handed first baseman has a big advantage. A right-handed first baseman's got to reach all the way across to make that tag. But nonetheless, mission accomplished. Molina's going to keep Bartlett a little closer. Not quite so anxious to get that secondary lead now.
It'll be tough to turn 2. There's one on the first. He's so fast. So just a force out. 1 away.
Not grounded into a double play this year, and ball was not hit all that hard, but there are other runners you're going to turn 2 on in this league. He was kind of coasting across the bag at first. Here he is out of the box.
Got that runner's lean, doesn't he? Just kind of leans forward.
Who was that? The guy in the Olympics from Jamaica, Usain Bolt. Yeah, he slowed down at the end too. He could have broken the world record if he had run through the tape.
I used to run just the opposite thing. I used to lean back and waddle like a duck when I ran. I'm jealous.
High fly ball, right field deep. Swisher jumps, see ya. A 2-run home run for Longoria. 3 home runs allowed by Pettit. It's 4-0 Rays. Longoria now has 37 runs batted in.
Guy's just 23 years old. That pitch is in the middle of the plate. You can do what you want with it, but he's got the power. And he knew it as soon as he hit it. And a hitter can tell you that you get that feeling after you hit a ball, there's no way it can stay in the ballpark. There's Swisher with the effort, but that ball's about 5 rows back over the auxiliary scoreboard.
Pena swings and misses.
There's not much wind here tonight at Yankee Stadium. The flags are fairly dead. First pitch hacking. Longoria drives that ball. He's got that kind of power. All parts of the park, he can hit home runs. That's really a backbreaker right there for Andy Pettitte. As you see Pena with his solo home run. You give up 2 in the first. You want to hold him right there, give your team a chance to come back, score some runs. Now you got a 4 spot on the board.
And the 0-2. Inside 1-2. Great numbers against Pettitte. 11 hits and 31 ABs and 4 of the 11 home runs. This will be Andy's 59th pitch.
Well, we saw that shot of Longoria in the dugout, and you can almost read his lips saying, you know, first pitch, I was looking away. He went out, reached out, got extended, drove that ball out. Sometimes hitters just guess. They go up there looking for a certain pitch in a certain location. I know, Singy, you did that when you played.
Early in the count.
Early in the count, you go up there, you sit on a pitch, fastball away. You get it, and you do damage.
2 Rays teammates combined for 67 ribbies so far. He goes around. The ball gets away from Molina. And Molina will throw to first for the putout. So you score that a strikeout 2-3, and there are 2 away.
Need a lot of towels to cover that arm. 6'9".
Breaking ball strike to Pat Burrow. Missed inside. So Andy averaging over 20 pitches an inning, and that's not a recipe for a long outing. Melky Cabrera is there, and that'll do it. But more damage for the Rays. They scored 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. The 1 hit off the bat of the red-hot Evan Longoria. He picks up his 9th home run of the year, now has 37 ribbies. Tampa Bay now has a 4-0 lead.
Yankees for your chance to present the MetLife Player of the Month award on the field at Yankee Stadium. Simply visit MetLife.com/Yankees for official rules. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited, and sweepstakes sponsor is Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. For the Yankees, down 4-0 here in their half of the third inning. He's going to be top of the order. Derek Jeter, Johnny Damon, as you can see, is on deck, and then Mark Teixeira to follow. And the Yankees in a hole here against big Jeff Neeman. Derek had a double leading off the game for the Yankees in the first inning, his 6th double of the year. And Neeman comes a little inside, and it's ball 1.
Jeter, and pitch outside. 2-0 on the Modell's scoreboard. It's 4-0 Tampa Bay, and Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the New York Yankees. Jeter moved off the plate.
Well, no intention here. You see Navarro setting up away, and he just lets it get away from him. He flies open. He's late with his arm. Trying to throw a strike on 2-0. Certainly no intent there.
Yeah, when you're 6'9", there's a lot of mechanics to be worked out, and they weren't quite in sync on that particular pitch.
You know, Turkey Hill ice cream is the new official ice cream of the New York Yankees. Right there. Pinstripe Brownie Blast. And there's also Bronx Bombers Sundae.
Give me a spoon.
Yeah,
let's go.
I'm thinking.
There you go. This is the day that Paul O'Neill should be here. Now, Bronx Bombers Sundae features chocolate ice cream with chocolate cookie swirl and chocolate covered crunchies. And Pinstripe Brownie Blast features vanilla ice cream with brownie batter swirl and brownie pieces. Turkey Hill is also running a great sweepstakes to win Yankee tickets this season. Fans can look for the entry sticker on specially marked packages of Bronx Bombers Sundae and Pinstripe Brownie Blast, and enter the code online at turkeyhill.com/Yankees. Foul back, so you're going to eat that, David?
Yeah, can you guys handle the next couple innings? I'm just going to take a little break here.
You're going to eat the whole thing, huh? Go for it.
Looks good, though.
How's that smacking? It's got to sound nice at home, right?
Just don't get brain freeze, all right? Johnny Damon lines a base hit to right field.
We'll see if that leadoff walk to Derek Jeter opens the door for some Yankee offense here in the bottom of the third inning. Right now, Neeman's just looking to throw one over the plate, get a strike somehow, and Damon's waiting. It's about belt high, out over the plate. Johnny just rips it over the head of Pena on into right field. Here's the swing.
Johnny Damon, he's the one that's kind of been in the middle of whatever offense the Yankees have been able to generate lately. And he's certainly one of the guys that's been hot, swinging the bat well. The Yankees need to fight back into this game. Obviously, they lost to the Rays last night. They need to battle back and pick up their pitcher. That's how you build chemistry, you know, on a team. People talk about you can't force it. Well, you know, when your pitcher's out there and he's given up 4 runs, and Andy Pettit's obviously the starter, your offense needs to pick him up. And conversely, sometimes a pitcher needs to pitch a great game when your offense is struggling. This is one of those times where the Yankees need to fight back and pick up their starter.
Count 1-1. About to start the honeymooners.
That was a live show just like this one.
Foul back.
Think they had a 7-second delay too, Singy?
No, I don't think so.
For Jackie Gleason? No. I was a Trixie fan, too.
Bet you were. The 1-2. I'm surprised, David. I mean, you had such a great career that you never had an ice cream that you advertised for. Ice cream cone is perfect.
You know what? I was going for more of the bar mitzvah kind of thing.
Right.
You know, I was just trying to add like a little H to the middle of my name.
David Cohen.
Yes. Yes.
A little H.
A little H. I do bar mitzvahs, though, by the way.
We'll give your website out later. The 2-2. Jimmy out to left field and deep. Crawford back, still back, still back. He'll make the play. And both runners retreat.
Well, better swing this time. You know, Teixeira, we've seen him get under balls, and that ball's out away from him, and he drives it the other way. Obviously, Carl Crawford's got a beat on it. Looked like he caught him reaching a little bit, maybe a little behind it, Singy, but that, to me, that was a better swing than what we've seen the last couple of at-bats.
To me, and we were talking about this in between innings, when it comes to Teixeira right now, he's kind of feeling for the ball. It's almost as if you want to make sure you make contact, don't swing it. You got to let it go sometimes. It's get some force into it. When you connect on one, you can drive it. He's trying to make sure that he hits the baseball when he swings at it, and just not happening.
Staying away from Matsui in the count 2-0. And Jim Hickey's seen something he just doesn't like, so he's going to go out and talk with Neeman.
Well, Neeman's already walked 3 hitters, 2 last inning and 1 this inning, and he's already hit a batter tonight too. So I think he's the type of pitcher that he will let you back into the ball game by putting men on base. You just have to come up with a big hit at the right time.
This Carburetor telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. I got a look-alike for you. Jeff Neeman and the actor Jeff Daniels.
Good call.
Dumb and Dumber.
It's a good call right there.
I don't think Jeff Daniels is as tall as this guy, but I'll give you that. That was a funny movie.
The 2-0. Upstairs, 3-0. You watch Matsui, and we've seen him for so many years, Kenny, and the one thing that they always teach kids is don't bail out, don't bail out. Every time he swings, he bails out. Somehow, he reaches the outside corner. I mean, his first move is always toward right field.
Yeah, but he keeps his hands back, though.
Yeah, and that enables him to reach out there and hit the ball with authority for the opposite field.
Girardi trying to catch him on a 3-0 pitch. Maybe get a 3-run home run. That's Cormier beginning to warm.
Every once in a while, you'll catch a pitcher speeding right down the middle, 3-0.
You know, Ichiro does that so well. It's almost like when he hits the ball, he's already got 2 steps towards first base. And for his game, obviously, it makes sense because of his speed, beating out a lot of infield hits.
A lot of the Japanese players do it. Iwamura as well. His first step is toward right field. Now you say, David, that he keeps his hands back, but still doesn't that move your body away that you should be able to reach the outside pitch?
Well, you know, I'll defer to Kenny on this, you know, being the hitter. But you know, when you keep your hands back, it seems to me, you know, that you could still get extension and still reach that pitch.
And a lot depends on how close you are to the plate, and he's fairly close.
Fly ball center field. Kapler coming in. 2 outs.
Here's the swing, and Matsui gets underneath this one. The Yankees still looking for that hit against Neeman. Still haven't gotten it. Left 2 men on in the first inning, 1 man on last inning, and they've got 2 more men on in this inning.
You can see Matsui's reaction. He knows he had a pitch to drive and just kind of pulled off it a little bit. Ball had a little run on it, too.
Here's Cano. Cano 1-1. The 0-1. Slice foul. Yankees 0 for 6 tonight with runners in scoring position. And in this short series, and we're only in the third inning of the second game, they're 1 for 15. I think, Kenny, you said it best yesterday on the postgame. They get good pitching, they don't hit. When they hit, they don't get great pitching. And that's what happens when a team starts to lose a little bit. All the components don't come together.
You're exactly right. It's a long season, though, and you got to hope that eventually it all clicks. Then they go off on a little run here. The Yankees haven't had a serious run, and we know they're too good a team not to have 1 or 2 of them, or even 3 of them during the course of a long season. You know, a team that wins, I would say, like 16 out of 20 or 15, or even 15, or even 14 out of 20. You do that 3 times during the course of the year, you're going to be in the race.
That one's off the glove of Navarro, and both base runners will move up.
Neeman's doing his best to put the Yankees back in this game, but they can't get ahead at the right time.
You see Navarro setting up inside, and this ball's up and away, and he's got to reach up and hits off the top of his glove. The toughest things for a catcher is to react when you're sitting up on one side of the plate or the other. In that case, inside corner, and the ball goes the completely opposite direction. It's really tough to pop up out of your crouch and make that play.
Of course, that's a wild pitch.
Grounded to short. And that'll do it. So the Yankees have the first 2 base runners on and do nothing with them. No runs a hit and 2 men left. 3 in the books. It's 4-0 Tampa Bay. State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Evan Longoria was the 6th player to be selected to the All-Star game playing the World Series and win Rookie of the Year in one season. Who was the first? We'll find out in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Ben Zobrist. Pitch outside. and a strike.
Well, Michael, it's time to break up the Kansas City Royals. Geez, they won again today, 3-1. Brian Bannister now 3-0.
They've got some nice components, and the biggest and most important is that they got pitching.
They do have pitching. Zach Greinke, just a phenomenal start. Brian Bannister had a rough year last year. He's bounced back this year. Nice start for him and a big pickup for the Royals.
Fly ball right field, and putting it on a hop is going to be Johnny Damon. So base hit for Ben Zobrist.
You could see last year, even though the Bannister struggled, he's got good stuff. You know, he's a second generation pitcher. His father Floyd was a pitcher. Zobrist quick on the inside pitch. Zips this one out in the left field. Sinking line drive, and Johnny Damon's got the plate on a hop.
Runner goes. And Molina didn't know where the ball was. He was so quick that he just didn't have the ball. So a stolen base for Zobrist.
Well, a lot of times with Andy Petty, you go on first move, and he did. Zobrist just had a tremendous jump, and really Molina didn't have a chance. You see Molina almost trying to deke the umpire again and run into the batter. Maybe initiate a little catcher's interference. But you got to throw the ball first. He tried to be so quick because he saw the jump that Zobrist had. It was a tremendous jump just going on first move.
Talked about the Rays and their ability to steal bases. There's only 2 players in the lineup tonight who don't have a stolen base. So just about everybody's going to go. There's the jump that Zobrist had that David was talking about. And as the ball got away from Molina, he was thinking about third for a second.
Shattered bat, grounded foul.
On the first swing, it appeared as though Kapler was trying to hit the ball to the right side. So what does Andy Pettit do on the next pitch? He comes in with a cutter in on the hands. Very difficult to hit the ball the other way, and Kapler's going to have to get a new piece of wood. You like that one? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I thought they were supposed to have 2 bats for every hitter in the on-deck circle.
They are.
Keep the game moving along. I mean, the bat boy had to go back into the dugout to get it. Each hitter is supposed to bring 2 bats to the on-deck circle. At least that's the way it was last year.
I think there's always a grand plan when these rules are implemented, and then
they fade away.
Kind of fade away. Yeah. Grounded to third. Pena checks the runner back. The long throw, and Kapler's out. First out of the inning.
Andy did a good job of keeping Kapler from advancing the runner. He kept the ball in on him, and the only way he was going to hit it was to pull it. You see Molina shift to the inside. You see the ball come up and in. It might have been a ball, but Kapler went for it, and here's a ground ball to third for the out.
Here's Iwamura, 15 for 43 with runners in scoring position, which is 349. Overall 283.
There's that swing you were talking about, Michael. He's halfway to first base when he swings. That's why you don't want to leave anything over the inner half of the plate. That's his real power. And not that he's a home run hitter at all. I don't think he's hit one this year. No, he hasn't. But when he does, it's usually something like hanging breaking ball on the inner third of the plate.
Now, when we opened the game, we detailed how Andy is a guy that does well after Yankee losses. There's a ground ball at Jeter. In fact, he's made 142 starts in his career following his team's loss, and that includes the Astros. And he had a record of 76-41. But here's a negative aspect to that stat. He's made 14 starts when his team has a 4-game or longer losing streak, and his record in those starts, 3-8 with a 4.87.
That might be a component of not only what he's done, but because the team's not hitting.
Right.
Yeah.
Runner at third. Here's Navarro.
Needless to say, this is a big runner for Andy Pettitte at this point in the game to strand at third base. We saw last night a big third run and a hit by Navarro off of Burnett that was a huge third run with 2 outs. And certainly at this point, you got 4 runs on the board, balls are flying out of the park. You need to strand this runner right here.
Along with Ken Singleton and David Cohn, I'm Michael Kane. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us on this Thursday evening. Top of the 4th inning, and the Rays lead the Yankees 4-0. Another big crowd on hand here at Yankee Stadium. High fly ball deep left. Damon back on the track, and in front of the wall, he'll put it away for the final out of the 4th inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. They go to the bottom of the 4th at the stadium. It's 4-0 Tampa Bay. Evan Longoria was the 6th player to be selected to the All-Star game, playing the World Series and win Rookie of the Year in one season. Who was the first to do that?
Happened a long time ago.
On Newcomb. Like in 1949. Nuke of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
He eventually went on to become a Cy Young Award winner. Look at the list. You got Fred Lynn on there, Dontrelle Willis, Tom Tresh with the Yankees, Fernando Valenzuela with the Dodgers back in 1981.
Dontrelle Willis on that list, trying to work his way back up through the Detroit farm systems, get back to the big leagues. I think they've been encouraged by his performance so far. Talking to Jimmy Leland in Detroit when we were there earlier, singing, they still have high hopes for Dontrelle Willis to get back.
I think he's in Toledo right now. It's AAA.
Saw the 4-0 score over a shot of the press box and all the writers here at the stadium. Little known fact that if David Cohn didn't throw 96 miles an hour coming out of high school, he wanted to be a journalist.
Too many reruns of The Odd Couple. Oscar Madison was my hero.
Popped up. Iwamura is there, and there's one away.
Just looks so cool, Michael. You know, the cigar, the apartment in Manhattan.
Didn't have to clean it up.
Slob.
I was a writer, as you remember, and really the only thing that I could tell you I was a slob. And no writer can afford that size apartment in Manhattan now.
That was a cool pad, wasn't it?
It was pretty nice. And Felix kept it clean. And the 1-0 to Melky. Low 2-0.
Get Murray the cop to come over, play a little poker. All right, I'll stop. That's it.
Count 2-1. There's Murray.
Got a game tonight.
Job.
Come on over. We got a game. And Melky works another walk. Very consistent at bats, a lot of patience, and he has really turned his game around. There's a lot to be said for the way he's played. Started the season, he had lost his job, didn't get much at bats, never complained, never made any noise, and just waited for his chance. He worked at all three outfield positions and just waited for that opportunity. And suddenly, every time he'd get up there, boom, he'd get a hit. And now Brett Gardner is dealing with it on the other end. He's the guy sitting on the bench.
Melky's carrying around a 400 on base percentage, and it's gone up tonight because he's been on base twice.
And Pena takes a strike.
Classic example of competition's a good thing in spring training. You hear managers talk about it every year in spring training. You have two guys battling, going at it. It's a good thing. Really helped out Melky.
Melky made a very, very wise move right at the start. He did not play in the WBC because he knew his only chance was to have a big spring training and show Joe Girardi how he changed his game. And he's had some big moments this year against the A's on April 22nd, a walk-off, and that kind of solidified his role as the everyday center fielder. So kudos to him. The 0-2. Fouled away.
This is where Pena in his first at bat of the night fouled off a lot of pitches and eventually got himself a walk. He's really in the hole here, though. No balls and 2 strikes. He's going to have to foul off a boatload of pitches.
Breaking ball's a little bit high.
Well, Neeman's already up to 75 pitches and really not a good ratio. And you can see it's going to be one of those nights for the Rays bullpen. These guys are going to be up and down all night, backing them up. 40 strikes, 35 balls. Joe Maddon's going to have a short leash tonight, especially with a 4-run lead.
You know what he's trying to do, though? He's trying to get him through 5 innings and then at least give him a position to win a ball game, even if it's just 5 and fly.
You get the feeling, though, that Jeff Neeman's just keeping a rotation spot warm for David Price when they call up their #1 draft pick from a couple of years ago. Price is left-handed, throws 98 miles an hour, actually closed for them in the postseason last year. But he's on an innings limit like Java, and they feel that in the minor leagues they can start them and take them out after 4 innings because they don't care whether they win or lose the game. Here, you got to win games. So when they get them through a couple of months with a low innings count, then they'll bring them up here and make them a full-fledged starter. At least that's the plan. Line drive, base hit to right field. Melky moves to second. 2 nice at-bats for Pena tonight.
Damon, as Michael said, he was down in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes on this, and fouled off some tough pitches. Got the count respectable and finally gets something he can handle. That one he doesn't foul off. He rips it by Iwamura and into right. The Yankees have 2 men on, and once again Jeff Neeman has opened the door, and Joe Madden taking that slow walk. He's seen enough men on base, and he knows that eventually the Yankees might come through with a hit here and bring some of them home.
I've never seen a manager wear a sweatshirt. I've seen him wear the pullover, the jacket, but he's just chilling in a sweatshirt.
Bill Belichick look right there.
Yeah, a little hoodie. Yeah. Well, he goes. Brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. So Jeff Neeman out of the game, and Lance Cormier comes on. Good numbers for Lance. This is his 11th game. A hit per inning and about a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, but a good ERA. And he could actually pick up a win in this one because Neeman leaves after 78 pitches. He has not given them length at all this season. 5 1/3, 6, 5 1/3, 5 2/3, 3. And now 3 1/3.
Well, Neeman only gave up 3 hits, but he's out of the game because he walked 4 and hit a batter.
Yankees had runners on first and second, 1 out in the second inning, and Molina banged into a double play. Cormier starts him off inside, 1-0. So now Neeman just a spectator.
That's a lost opportunity. Your team gives you 4 runs to work with. Boy, that's frustrating right there. You know, you got a win staring at you, and now you're on the bench.
Base hit inside third and down the left field line. Cabrera scores. Pena will stop at third. It's an RBI double for Molina. Yankees on the board. 4-1 Tampa Bay.
Molina could do this early in the count. He's a fastball hitter. See that ball running in on him, and he gets around on it, almost cheating to get to it. Sitting dead red right here. Keeps it fair right down the line. That's when Molina's dangerous. Early in the count, a veteran catcher. He'll look for a fastball. He'll start it early. You can see he got what he was looking for, and now the Yankees got something going.
I'll tell you, as Michael said, we got a pretty good crowd here tonight, and they're looking to let loose. You can hear the decibel level picking up here at the stadium.
Here's Jeter. Outside, the 1-0. A ground ball would make it 4-2. The infield is back, but Jeter's looking for more than that. Crowd has not had much to cheer about. I told you the Yankees have not had a lead since the 5th inning on Saturday. Today's Thursday. So trying to battle back. And line right at Iwamura. 2 away.
I was thinking about Neeman's appearance here tonight, and one reason why he might have been tough to hit because he's kind of all over the place, and sometimes it's tough to get a bead on pitchers like that as a hitter. Well, he can't get it. He's looking for the middle of the play. He's just as apt to throw and hit you as throwing right down the middle. Those guys are tough to hit.
See the veteran Burrow working on him, trying to pump him back up. A little schooling going on right there. But you're right, Singy, and plus he has a little movement. He throws a little, moving fastball. It's like he didn't know where it was going either. So, as a hitter, it's hard to predict.
Second deck foul ball.
Yankees got the right guy up. I mean, as we said before, Johnny Damon's been the one guy that's been a spark plug for the Yankees. And even though they've obviously struggled with runners in scoring position, now you got a big situation with 2 outs. This would be a huge hit for Johnny Damon and the Yankees to get him right back in this game.
Line drive, right field, going back. Zobrist hits over his head. 1 hop up against the wall. 2-run score. A 2-run double for Damon. And the Yankees have closed to within 4-3. A big base hit for Johnny Damon.
And that's the look of a starting pitcher whose earned runs just came around the score. I know that feeling. But as we said, Johnny Damon gets a fastball down and in right where he likes it. Look at him. That's why lefties can just drop the head on that pitch. It's the shortest route to the ball. Johnny Damon's got pop. We've seen him drive the ball on the second deck. This one's a line drive. 1 hops the wall. You got a double and a 2-out situation where he picks up 2 big RBIs.
And from a Cormier's standpoint, he shouldn't be giving up a double like this on an 0-2 pitch.
Here's Mark Teixeira. And a strike to Teixeira today. Had a runner at third with 1 out. Didn't get him in. Grounded back to the pitcher. That was in the first. And then had runners on first and second. Nobody out in the third, and flew out to left. There's a strike.
Staying with the breaking ball. If they throw him a fastball here, it's going to be up out of the zone just to try and get him to chase it.
Shift is on. 3 infielders on the right side. Longoria on the left side. Missed outside. Well, we mentioned yesterday, that's the scouting report right now on Teixeira. Just keep throwing him breaking balls. He's too anxious. And the 1-2. Off-speed pitch, and Teixeira goes down on strikes, and more boos for him. But the Yankees get 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Teixeira way out in front. So the Rays, but by 1 run. Thank you, Bob. Back here in the Bronx, we go to the top of the 5th inning. And the Rays' 4-0 lead has been cut to 4-3 as the Yankees rally for 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th. As you can see on the Lexus scoreboard, 4-6-0, leading 3-5-0. So Andy Pettitte back in the game. Now he has to shut down the Rays here in the 5th. He has 78 pitches and deals to the top of the lineup. And there's a breaking ball strike to Bartlett.
Well, you're right, Michael. You're back in the game. Andy Pettitte with new life, and you got to take advantage of it right here. You send a message to your team. You get them right back in the dugout right here. You're back in this game. You got a chance to redeem yourself right now.
Fastball upstairs.
You know, I mentioned a little bit about Andy Pettitte's pedigree coming in. You know, his winning percentage as a Yankee just phenomenal. 5 times in Andy's career, he's finished 6th or better in the Cy Young Award winning or Cy Young Award voting. He was 2nd in '96. See his pitch count right there. His current .629 winning percentage is 9th active and 53rd all time. Tremendous pedigree. You can see kind of renewed game face going on right now. He really got picked up. Johnny Damon with a huge 2-out double, scored 2 runs.
Grounded to short. Jeter. On the roll.
Good job of taking the ball off the fat of the bat on that one. That was Bartlett out in front, broke his bat. Good change of speeds.
And here's Carl Crawford. Kenny, we watched Mark Teixeira making out in the bottom of the 4th inning to end the inning. What's going through his mind right now? How much is it weighing on him?
Well, every time you leave a runner in scoring position, now, no matter how well you're hitting, it bothers you, especially when you're batting 3rd, 4th, 5th. You're in the middle of the order. That's what you get paid to do, is drive in runs. And right now, he's on a streak where he did get some runners in last night, but he's about 1 for his last 21 or so with the runners on base. So it's got to be gnawing at him. But I would say this, you know, you got to keep your confidence level up. Eventually, it's going to come around. And all big hitters have been through slumps like that. All of them.
Well, the unfortunate thing for Mark is that these are the first 28 games of his Yankee career, so they kind of magnified. And maybe tomorrow he'll have some pressure taken off of him as Alex Rodriguez will come back and bat behind him in the lineup.
It might change the sequence of pitches that he sees, you know, especially if there are pitchers struggling with their breaking balls and you know, not throwing good ones, because that's all he's seeing right now. It's like they're just flipping the breaking ball up there. They're decent ones, pretty good ones. But what he's going to have to do, he's going to have to hammer one of those to get it off. You know, everybody's going to have to see that he can hit that ball hard.
Teixeira takes it himself.
Let's take a look at his last at bat, pitch by pitch, and you'll see right away. Start him with a breaking ball for a strike. Comes back with another one, strike 2. So that's how they get ahead right now. Fastball or changeup down and away, and then another breaking ball. Took a little more off of that one, got him out in front, and struck him out. He's going to have to hit one of those eventually, because everybody's got the video. They're watching all this video. Guthrie's he'll be watching it tomorrow before the game starts, and he's going to see a sequence of breaking balls throughout this homestand to Mark Teixeira, and he hasn't done anything with any of them. So, and Guthrie's got a good breaking ball. He's going to use it against Teixeira tomorrow night. I think that is one of the major differences between when I played and now, because everything is out there in the open for everybody to see. You know, word of mouth is one thing back then. I mean, there's guys in California watching this game right now. Ball clubs, you know, their games have barely started, or haven't started, I should say. They're watching this game right now, and they're seeing what's going on with Mark Teixeira. And pitchers are sitting around there watching this and say, well, eventually he's going to come out here, or we're going to come east, and maybe that'll work then. But, you know, things might change between now and then. At least if you're a Yankee fan, you hope so.
He's really trying to move Longoria off the plate. And the count is full, 3-2.
Yeah, this is a guy you got to make feel uncomfortable. I mean, he's been comfortable all season long against all type of pitching. Every team. This guy, what, he's got 37 runs batted in now? How many games? They played 29. This is their 30th game. Was he going to drive in 190 runs this year?
On that swing, as Andy has retired 6 in a row. He retires the Rays in order 1, 2, 3. At the end of 4.5 innings of play, we are halfway through. Tampa Bay 4 and the Yankees 3 on yes. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. And the pitch to Matsui is low as we start the bottom of the 5th inning. Tampa Bay leads the Yankees 4-3. Had a 2-0 lead, then a 4-0 lead, with 3 runs by the Yankees in the bottom of the 4th. Has tightened this one up.
Andy Pettit did his job, got his team right back in the dugout with a 1-2-3 inning, and you can almost sense the momentum shift. And the Yankees get some base runners this inning. It'll be a great sign for them, as we've noted their struggles as of late.
Well, we certainly can't ignore the big story of the day in baseball. Another huge story, another big name going down, so to speak, as Manny Ramirez testing positive for a banned substance, performance-enhancing substance, and he is suspended for 50 games, a huge blow to the Dodgers. And I personally think another big blow to baseball. Look at the 2 names that have been involved this year. Alex Rodriguez, arguably the best player in the game, one of the best ever. And now Manny Ramirez, considered one of the best hitters ever. And he's suspended for 50 games.
I will say this, outside of the initial shock when I heard it this afternoon around noontime, you know, I don't get flustered anymore with it. It just seems to me it's just a continuation. And it's going to take a while before all this is over. And it's not like a surprise.
That one's driven to right field and deep. If it has height, it's gone. Gone. 4-4 game. How about that? The cop caught the ball. New York's finest indeed. Matsui with a bullet home run.
Well, take another look. It's a breaking ball. This is what Teixeira's got to look for and drive it. It was kind of down and in, and Matsui quick stroke it. Didn't really have his best swing, but what a play.
Oh, got in front of it. This is how you do it. Block it right in front of it, off the chest.
That's one of New York's finest right there. That's what he does with the ball. He gives it to the kid in the Ranger jersey because he knows he's feeling bad about the way the season ended.
Secure it. I'm going to hide it.
I like the way the kid went over and shook his hand, too. That was very nice.
That's a smooth cop, man. Good hands. Grounded in third off the bat of Cano. And there's one away. And a very polite young man as well. Thank you, sir. May I have another? He's got one of those throwback jerseys. Yager. Very cool moment. Here's Nick Swisher. So a 4-4 game. Yankees have come back to tie it up. And a strike.
One more point about Teixeira. I know that everybody's kind of, fans starting to boo a little bit, but there are years where you struggle for a while, but then you really get hot, and your numbers seem to even out over the course of a year. And there are years.
Ground ball to second, and Swisher's now 0 for 3.
And there are years where you're just consistent. Every month you drive in 15 to 20 runs. But there are years where you struggle.
Before the inning ends, David, any take on the Ramirez stuff?
Well, yeah, I just believe that if you're a young player, you watch what's happened to A-Rod and what's going to happen to Manny, and what's happened to any player who's had his name attached to this mess, then that ought to be deterrent enough, Michael. I think the stigma of having your name splashed through the papers, having to deal with the media and all the questions.
Grounded up the middle. And off the glove of Bartlett into center field for a base hit. So Melky's 1 for 1 with his 2 walks.
But just to finish that point, Michael, yeah, that should be deterrent enough. 50 game suspension. I think the Dodgers will probably be okay without Manny. They've got a great team. They've got Juan Pierre to play left field for him while he's out for 50 games. But Manny's going to lose over $7 million in salary over this. Certainly he's made a lot in his career, but to me that doesn't matter. 50 games, $7 million lost. It's more about having your name attached to this that is the biggest deterrent of all. If you're a young player watching this, you should not want to go through that.
How about his Hall of Fame credibility?
Yep. Here's Ramiro Pena. Now looking in the on-deck circle, you wonder what's happening now. That's Francisco Cervelli. So Jose Molina is going to be taken out of the game. You don't pinch hit for Molina here unless he's injured, so the Yankees can ill afford to have their second catcher go down. Posada is already on the DL. And as soon as we find out anything about Molina, we will get it to you.
Well, one of the reasons Francisco Cervelli was called up because he was on the roster. So it was an easy move for them to make to get him up to the big leagues. So remember Chad Moeller last year was a valuable piece for the Yankees. I'm sure that's why GMs work the phones during the game. We don't know what happened to Molina, so you certainly don't want to speculate.
Moeller's in Baltimore.
But yes, but nonetheless, you get in a situation where in case somebody does go down like a catcher, you're on the horn right now looking for an answer.
Yankees have another catcher in the minors, Kevin Cash. slow roller back to the mound. And they just get Pena, although Cash is not on the 40-man. So they would have to make a maneuver to get him up. There's a happy young man. Why is he happy? Because Hideki Matsui lined a home run just over the right field wall. The man in blue does the job. Hands out a souvenir, and the Yankees get themselves a tie game. Starts at 6:30 with the Tri-State 4 pregame. Then Ken Singleton and I have the call from the booth. A-Rod returns. Yankees-Orioles starting tomorrow at 6:30 only on Yes. Francisco Cervelli takes over behind the plate. Molina lifted. Obviously, some sort of injury occurred, and as soon as we find out what it is, we will try to tell you. There's a strike. This is Molina scoring in the 4th inning, and it looks like he pulled something there.
Oh, man.
Not good. Francisco Cervelli and the Rays have a little history, and it dates back to last spring training. Elliot Johnson, a guy who's trying to make the team as a backup infielder, trying to score, ran over Cervelli and broke his wrist.
Here's a look, close play at the plate. This was late in the ball game too. Cervelli comes in, and Joe Girardi actually took umbrage of Elliot Johnson coming in so hard, but Joe Madden didn't. He said, I want my team to play hard. The guy's trying to make the team. Cervelli, he's down on the ground. You can see right away he's calling to the dugout. He's hurt. And he was out for quite a few weeks. Spent some time in the minor leagues, but here he is now. I think we did that game together, Michael. I believe so, yeah.
Swing and a miss. Pena down on strikes.
Great sequence by Andy Pettit there. Pitch before this, as you see this, he knocks Pena off the plate, right back in there, down and in. Not quite digging in so hard anymore, Singy, you know, and that's just good hard baseball, you know. This is what I'm talking about. You know, Pena's been digging in, getting good swings. Hey, that's a quality pitch, up and in. It's not by his head. Spun him around, got him off the dish. A little uncomfortable, comes right back in there and strikes him out.
Now, we just saw Cervelli go out and talk with Pettit. How difficult is that for a pitcher? Just a rookie kid back there.
Well, Andy's not the easiest guy to catch either. A veteran guy.
Ground ball to short. Pena.
Oh, Andy features cutters to both sides of the plate. He's got a changeup and a hook. Andy traditionally is a guy who likes to follow the lead of the catcher. So Andy's going to have to obviously call his own game at this point. Good start. Got 2 quick outs. See Cervelli with a little bounce on the step. But to answer your question, Michael, not an easy task for this young catcher to catch Andy Pettitte, the veteran.
Now, Andy, people want to say, well, why doesn't Andy just call his own game? He doesn't like to. He wants to just look and get the sign and throw, and he wants to trust his catcher.
David, you were talking about that pitch to Pena. And, I also explained a couple of days ago that back in the day when the count got 0-2, that was almost an automatic pitch. But I did see one time in a spring training game, Hank Aaron fall behind 0-2. The pitcher tried to get up and in, didn't get it quite far up and in, and Hammer knew it was coming. He just turned on it and dropped the hammer, hit a line drive straight down the left field line, home run, ran around the bases and stared at the young pitcher all the way around the bases. Like, you can do this to some people, but this is Hank Aaron.
Now, Pettitte could get this inning done and not have that much over 100 pitches at 102 right now. He might have a 7th inning in him.
Yeah, and I guarantee you he's thinking that right now, too. He wants to stay in this ball game. You can see he is. He's kind of staring off Cervelli to get the sign he wants.
That one's driven deep to left field. It is a 5-4 Tampa Bay lead. A long home run for Ben Zobrist. And Tampa Bay jumps up by 1.
Andy has been sharp, but this one he's going to want back. A big, high, flat curveball. He knows it right there. This is a backbreaker, and Zobrist just launches it deep. That's probably the worst pitch Pettitte's thrown since he gave up the 4 runs. He's really been sharp, really held the Rays at bay and allowed the Yankees to get back in, and that's the one pitch that he would love back when he talks about this game afterwards.
And the 0-1. 1-1. Well, Girardi's going to let him finish this inning at 106. He probably doesn't bring him out for the 7th. There's no action in the bullpen at this point. And the 2-1. Line drive to center field. It's a base hit. So he retires the first 2 quickly, then a home run and a single by Kapler. Now the home run by Zobrist was the 4th home run at Andy allowed. Significant. First time in his career that he's allowed 4 home runs in a game. First time in his career.
That's saying something right there. This is Andy's 349th start as a Yankee. 432nd overall. 5th active on the list.
A lot of times when you see a base stolen against Andy Pettitte, and it's difficult because everybody's feared of his move, but it's usually when first moving they go. It's almost as if you got a 50-50 chance if he's going to come over the first base or not. And with 2 outs, the Rays might be thinking about getting another runner in the scoring position here.
Catches the outside corner. 1-1. We're in the top of the 6th inning. And the Rays lead 5-4. 4 home runs Pettitte's allowed. 3 solo shots. The other one a 2-run blast by Longoria. Bartlett and Pena in the first, Longoria in the third, and Zobrist here in the sixth.
Do the odds go up on Kapler taking off with a throw over the first, thinking Andy won't double up on him?
And the 1-1. Foul back.
We saw Andy go through almost 4 different signs there to get to the pitch that he wanted.
There's a different rhythm with the Cervelli than there was with Molina. And with a new catcher in the game, will the Rays want to test the youngster behind the plate? I was watching him throw the ball around before, after Pena struck out. He's got a good arm. He whipped that ball down to Pena at third, and it got there in a hurry. I don't know how accurate he is, but maybe we'll find out soon.
.111 pitches for Pettit. Jose Veras throwing in the bullpen. Runner goes. Cervelli short hops to second. Backing up is Cano. So a stolen base for Kapler.
You called it, Sing. He's just going on first move. Kapler's just guessing. The minute Andy lifted his leg, he's gone. That's a tremendous jump. Cervelli really doesn't have much of a chance. Quick release, even though he short hopped it. Jeter does a good job of just getting a glove on that, keeping it in the infield.
This is, like you mentioned before, this is the guy you got to get out. That's it. 1 run this inning.
Rounded up the middle. Cano grabs it. Fires to first. Not in time. Neeman beat it out. Kapler stops at third.
That's part of the Rays game. They have excellent team speed, and Iwamura keeps the inning going by beating out an infield hit. Here's another look. Cano with an accurate throw. The one thing that keeps Teixeira from stretching straight out for the ball that throws high, he has to reach up. If he can reach straight out, they might be able to get him.
Well, Girardi goes out and talks with Pettit, and you know what? His former teammate was like he talked himself into one more batter. We're doing the Joe Girardi show last week, and one of the emails sent in by a fan to ask Joe a question was, is it tough managing your ex-teammates? And only 4 of them on the team that remain. And he said, no, not really. He said that the toughest thing is that sometimes, you know, Andy doesn't want to come out of the game. He says, and, you know, we used to be close friends and still are. And so that's the only thing that you could even look at and say that's an issue.
Well, you know, Navarro's a switch hitter here, so no real advantage, you know, to bring in a right-hander because they'll just obviously flip around a bad lefty. So Girardi obviously heard what he wanted to hear from Pettit. It's going to give him one more chance to work out of this inning.
Navarro 3 for 27 this season with runners in scoring position. Now it's 3 for 28. So Pettit talked his way into getting out Navarro. But the Rays score a run on 3 hits. The Zobrist home run gave them a 5-4 lead. Time now for a word from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Yes, we get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. W.B. Mason. Who but? I guess that's a full moon. We'll go with that. Time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question: which of these hitters, each 25 or younger, is most likely to make it to the Hall of Fame? You've been texting to 58772, and here's how you voted. A tie. We have a tie. Longoria and Pedroia. It's the first tie ever. An historic vote here on yes. 20% for Hanley Ramirez and just 8% for Nick Markakis, who we'll see tomorrow. But that's exciting, a tie.
Should we have a runoff?
No, I think we'll check with Florida to see how they vote.
Well, yeah, just to give you an update, Michael, Pedroia is 2 for 3 tonight with 3 RBIs, and Boston's up 13-2 against Cleveland. Jason Bay, another home run. Manny Ramirez's replacement up in Boston, obviously, we've talked about. Jason Bay is off to a sizzling start this year, and you wonder how they're feeling up in Boston with him as their left fielder right now.
Here's Francisco Cervelli, not his first big league at bat. Last year he was 0 for 5. This season with Trenton wasn't exactly tearing it up. And that's Double-A. Kevin Cash is at Triple-A. And I mentioned Cash is the veteran. Used to be with the Red Sox. You see J.P. Howell, the new pitcher for the Rays, and what he's done. But Cash is not on the 40-man roster. And for those that are not familiar with that maneuver, you have to be on the 40 to get onto the 25. Now, some teams will have 38 on the 40-man. Some will be right up against it, 40 on the 40-man. So the Yankees would have to make a maneuver to get Cash onto the 40-man and then move him up to replace an injured Molina if it is, in fact, a disabling injury.
And somebody would have to leave the team, the current 25-man roster, to get him up here in the big league.
That would be Molina on the DL.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cervelli swings and misses. And that's the one thing that's disappointing for the Yankees about the injury to Posada, and now it looks like an injury to Molina. What they were hoping is when A-Rod got back, that was going to really lengthen the lineup and really make the lineup formidable. Now you're bringing A-Rod in tomorrow, and he's just replacing Posada's bat, and nobody's replacing the bat that they lost with Posada moving out. So there's still one bat down from what they planned.
Really, since Girardi's taken over as manager, he hasn't had a full metal jacket in terms of how the team was designed, what the lineup was supposed to be. You see Girardi and Posada side by side. But, you know, it really hasn't gone as planned. It generally doesn't in the big leagues. There's always injuries, but you figure at some point in time you're going to get everybody together healthy at once, and it just hasn't happened since Girardi's really been manager.
These two were teammates on the WBC team. That's Howell was pitching for the U.S. team, and this is his 14th appearance of the year. He's been a busy man.
Jeter swings and misses.
J.P. Howell pitches from the extreme third base side of the rubber. You see him kind of turned and closed right there, trying to get that angle inside on righties.
Jeter down looking.
That's what he does so well. He's almost more effective against right-handed batters than lefties, and I think the numbers will bear that out. But that's one of the reasons you pitch way over here, and he pounds righties in with sliders and then freezes Jeter with a fastball right there.
Definitely had the corner.
Damon rips one foul.
See the 6 home runs for Johnny Damon. 5 of them have come here at the new Yankee Stadium.
Johnny had Longoria back, was trying to get a push base hit, bring up Teixeira.
Not a bad idea by Johnny Damon right there. Swinging a hot bat. Longoria way back. 2 outs, trying to get on base. Maybe give Teixeira a chance to hit with runners on.
J.P. Howell last year was a big part of the success of the bullpen of the Rays. You don't get to the all the way to the World Series as Varys warms up without some a sufficient bullpen. It was more than sufficient.
Had a tremendous year last year. 64 games pitched.
And Damon continues his hot hitting with a base hit. He's 3 for 4 tonight.
When you're hot, you're hot. You can see Johnny Damon on a curveball right here. Off speed, out in front, but still can stay back long enough and get on that pitch. Watch him out in front, but still one-hands it. That's a Johnny Damon style. That's how you can stay long through the zone. Lets that hand come off the bat, stays through it, hooks it. Doesn't hit it hard, but gets a knock. J.P. Howell last year, 64 games pitched, 89 innings. He had 92 strikeouts and a 2.22, room 222 ERA.
Remember that show?
I do remember that show. Singy and I talked about it last year. Karen Valentine.
Karen Valentine.
Was Denise Nicholas on that show?
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Yes, she was. Michael Constantine.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time watching TV, Michael. Odd Couple, room 222.
Yes.
Big spot for Teixeira right here. 2-0 count.
Now 3-0. Now Girardi has had a tendency to green light a lot of his hitters on 3-0, trying to catch that fastball down the middle and maybe get a home run. Let's see what he does with Teixeira.
He might do it here because he's got a lefty and Matsui coming up next.
Teixeira with a big hit last night in the rain. Bases loaded, 2 outs. He gets a double, clears the bases. But then in the 10th inning could not get a runner in from third, which would have been the tying run with 1 out, the infield in. Slow roller. Howell fields. And the boos get louder from Mark Teixeira, and he's going to be very happy the Yankees are going on the road after the game tonight. He's 0 for 4. No runs ahead. 1 man left. We go to the 7th. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Well, Andy Pettit's night is over as he turns the ball over to Jose Veras. The 7.62 ERA is not what it's about. 13 innings, 9 hits, 9 walks, 18 base runners, and 13 innings. And he'll face the top of the order. Here's Bartlett. And there's a strike. When Veras throws strikes, his stuff is crisp, it's dominating. But he's a max effort guy, and it's hard to keep those mechanics in sync, and sometimes he's all over the place. Off-speed pitch.
Right, Michael, there's no questioning Veras' stuff. A mid-90s fastball, upwards of 95 miles an hour, and a knee-buckling curve in the upper 70s. It's just a question of command.
Breaking ball, strike 3. That's what he can do. Well, they've announced the injury. Molina left with a strained left quad.
There's a good hook in there for call strike 3. Bartlett's an interesting choice with Upton out of the lineup tonight to be the leadoff hitter, because Bartlett's had over 100 at bats now and has only walked 4 times. But Joe Madden made the choice, and Bartlett led the game off with a home run.
And there's a strike to Crawford. And Jose Molina is going to have an MRI tonight, at some point tonight, to see how serious the quad injury is. Quads are never good.
Well, especially for a catcher. For obvious reasons, as catchers have to squat. And if you've got a quad that's bothering you, and you've got to get behind that plate and get down on that crouch, that is a devastating potential injury. Obviously, we don't want to jump the gun. The MRI could be clean. Maybe he will be fine in a few days, or certainly the Yankees hope so. But when you're talking quads and catchers, that's very difficult.
Not only do you have to squat, you have to come out of that squat quickly and, maneuver on pitches in the dirt and all that sort of thing.
Grounded to second. Cano. 2 outs.
Manager Joe Girardi has talked a lot about Veras and how well he did last year for the Yankees and the need to get him going. So you almost get the sense of Jose Veras every outing, including this one, obviously. With 2 quick outs here, he's got a chance to have a real positive 7th inning. The Yankees need Jose Veras to be like he was last year, and they need to get him going. And this could be a big outing for him.
Now, he has to work on his mechanics. I've always wondered, pitchers that start can work between starts. How does he work? Because if you work before the game, then you might not be able to pitch that night.
You really can't. You're really reduced to just studying video and talking mechanics with your pitching coach and strategy. But there's no substitute for what he's doing right now. Just to get out there and attack hitters, have a quick inning, be efficient, and just build confidence yourself. Some things you have to figure out yourself. There's only so much, as you see Dave Island, the pitching coach there, there's only so much he can do for you. You got to do it yourself sometimes out there and figure things out on your own.
Another thing, when you're talking around an ERA of 7.6 as Veras is for a relief pitcher, it takes you longer to get it down than it would be a starter. If he's got a starter can get up there and get multiple innings in a game, 5 or 6, have a good game, throw 7 shutout innings, that ERA is going to drop quickly. But a reliever, 1 or 2 innings, you're still going to be toting that ERA, and when you come in the next time, it's going to drop just a little bit.
Well, at this point, Veras has looked very nasty. 2-2 count on Longoria.
So for me, an ERA for a reliever is not quite the indicator it would be for a starting pitcher. I would think that, you know, you can have really one bad outing as a reliever, and that's really going to boost your ERA. And it's going to take you a while to get it down. But meanwhile, you know, you check things like first batter efficiency. You get that first batter out. You know, do you hold the lead when you come into the game in those situations?
Right back up the middle. Nice piece of hitting by Longoria. 2-out single to keep the inning alive.
Well, another good breaking ball, but Longoria's got that kind of reach. Look at him reach out. That ball's off the plate. Here's the outside corner, right up this way. You know, maybe too many pitches away. I don't know. You know, the sequence there, about 5 straight pitches away, fastballs and breaking balls. But you can see this ball's off the plate. And that's the kind of hitter Longoria is. We saw him earlier in the game reach out there and take Andy Pettitte deep on a pitch on the outside corner. You know, he's got that kind of play coverage. Really, really nice piece of hit.
Yeah, when you got 2 strikes, you'll take that type of hit.
Here's Pena. Yankees trail 5-4. Fastball away, 1-0.
Longoria, there's just no one way to get him out. It's just mix it up, down, in and out. You know, as a pitcher singing, I used to look at the 4 quadrants, up and in, up and away, down and in, down and away. And you got to use them all with hitters like Longoria. You got to just give them different looks, bounce back and forth, side to side.
I hope you stay one step ahead of him. When you say the 4 quadrants, you mean like up and in, up and away, down and in.
Exactly. You got to use them all. You know, and as we saw with Andy Pettitte coming out, you know, he threw 11 straight strikes to start this game and gave up some bullets. And a lot of those pitches weren't that bad. You know, but sometimes you just stay on the same plane, down and away and down and in. You forget about the up and in and up and away. Changing the eye level, excuse me, Michael, changing the eye level of a hitter, to me, was extremely important. It's not just about down and away, hitting the target all the time, as you see Pena right here.
See, this one's up. So you're thinking next pitch, splitter in the dirt.
Definitely. You know, you try to change their eye level and you try to set pitches up, and one pitch leads to the next pitch.
No, well, he's only got 1 strike. Yeah, that would be your put away pitch, the splitter in the dirt.
We've seen Pena burn the Yankees with fastballs in this series and launch some long home runs. And here's a fastball situation. And you know, a guy like Pena is keying on a fastball in a certain location. So you got to be very careful. Even though it's a 3-1 count and you don't want to walk him, you better make sure that you get this pitch in a good spot.
And he misses, so a walk to Pena. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Joe Girardi comes out and talks to Veras.
We'll see how he attacks him. Fastball way off the plate. Up. Now you're down 2-0. Fastball up a little bit more. Gets Pena to swing through it way up and away. It's almost like he didn't want any part of him right there. Everything was away or up a little bit. He never got in the position to go side to side and expand the zone.
You know, when you look at the lineup now, Pat Burrell's not going nearly as well as Longoria and Pena. So I'm not all that distressed by that base on balls. You know, this is a guy you want to get out, get this inning over with.
And the pitch to Burrell. Breaking ball misses. A crowd of 43,769 here at the ballpark. So every night it's right around 42, 43. And the 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. Line drive, base hit to left center field. A big base hit for Burrell. Cutting it off beautifully is Melky. 1 run scores. Pena will go to third. It's an RBI single for Burrell. And the Rays lead 6-4.
You can see the frustration on everybody's face, and Burrell's always been a good fastball hitter, and this one runs right back to the middle. It's got good movement, but it's down, it's flat on the same plane, and Burrell does not miss it. You know, Vargas gets 2 quick outs. Longoria with a base hit up the middle on a good pitch. You pitch around Pena, and now Burrell burns you.
That's probably his worst pitch of the inning.
This Rays lineup could do that to you. They have quality hitters from top to bottom. They can beat you in a lot of different ways. They were not the division champs and got to the World Series for nothing last year.
You know, you hear the fans say, well, what's wrong with the Yankees? There's certain things wrong. They're not hitting with runners in scoring position. The bullpen is not working the way it should. And the starters are having, you know, indifferent sort of appearances. Some good, some bad. But I just think the division in itself is a lot tougher than it used to be a few years ago when the Yankees were winning it. The Rays have made the biggest strides of any team in this division in the last couple of years. And they are tough to deal with. I mean, they won the division last year. And the Red Sox are always going to be the Red Sox. They're up there. They're up there in big money, along with the Yankees. The Blue Jays are hitting like nobody has hit so far this year. And they've got at least one pitcher who's going to win all the time and set the tone for the rest of the rotation. And the Orioles, if you don't pitch against them, well, they can hit. You might score 100 runs off of them, but you could lose, you know, 110 to 100.
Zobrist with a high fly ball to left center. Damon is there, and he'll put it away. So Vera started off like a house on fire and then got into trouble. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here in the stadium. Well, thank you, Bob. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Yankees now have a 2-run deficit that they have to try to make up. It's 6-11-0 Tampa Bay, 4-8-0 for the Yankees. And it's almost as if the Yankees, the last couple of games, are trying to climb a grease pole. They'll get up to a certain point, then they slide back down a little bit. 4-4, they come back from 4-0. Boom, then a home run, then a run. And now it's 6-4. Let's see if they have another rally. J.P. Howell deals to Matsui for a strike.
Yeah, the point I was trying to make at the end of the last half inning was that this division's a lot tougher than it used to be. I mean, the days are over when you go into Tampa Bay and Tropicana Field and feel bad when you won just 2 out of 3. It used to be a 2-team division. It is not that way anymore.
We talked about that Rays lineup. You know, a lot of times we end up dissecting pitches up here, locations. That Rays lineup does a lot of things that really get pitchers out of whack. And, well, the guy I've been impressed with seeing is Zobrist. He looks like a player to me. A switch hitter. He's got some pop. He's had some good at-bats tonight. They've got a quality lineup with a lot of different weapons, including speed.
I got a piece of Dale Scott.
Now, Zobrist is a good athlete. I mean, when you can play as multiple positions as he can play, and he's got what, 5 home runs now.
He's a good-looking player to me. You know, we saw him last year a little bit, and certainly he's been on the come for a while. But had a strong start to this year. He's looked impressive tonight.
5 home runs and 61 at bats.
Ground ball to Iwamura. 1 away. One away here in the 7th, and here's Cano. Cano tonight is 0 for 3. He's really in his first slump. 5 for 28. And the count is 0-2.
He started tonight as a .333 hitter.
Now down to 325.
Yeah, but that's why you build that cushion up.
Yankees have lost 4 in a row, trying to avoid a 5-game slide, and also trying to avoid going 2 games under 500. Count 2-2.
We've seen, as you said, Michael, the momentum shift in this game back and forth. Obviously, the Rays jumped up early. The Yankees got back in it. Johnny Damon, a big part of it. It's also a chance for momentum right here. Obviously, the Rays are back up to 6-4. If they can get back in the dugout with no damage in this inning, the momentum clearly has swung back in their favor with J.P. Howell on the mound. Yankees, conversely, trying to strike back, trying to answer. With the Rays scoring in the top of the 7th to go up 6-4. Another one of those innings that's a big momentum turner. The Yankees are in a position to have to try to answer right now.
Strike 3. Cano down looking, and he knew it. He's 0 for 4. Howell has now thrown a season high 28 pitches.
coming into this game, we talked about the numbers. I always, this is a quality fastball right there on the outside corner. J.P. Howe was against right-handed batters, as you see, right off the edge, too close to take. We know that that overhead cam is not directly over. It's not completely accurate, but it gives you a good view. And that is certainly probably on the edge. So good call by Dale Scott. Good pitch by J.P. Howe. But coming into this game, right-handed batters were hitting 267. 8 for 30 off of J.P. Howe. And lefties were hitting 500. 5 for 10. Obviously getting those two lefties out to start this inning will change that. Part of the reason, Singy, is you see J.P. Howe pitching from the extreme third base side of the rubber. What that does is give you an angle on the right side of the plate, either inside to righties or obviously away from lefties. We've seen him attack right-handed hitters predominantly inside with fastballs and sliders down and in.
So he's relying on his ability to throw the ball hard. Make you swing the bat, make a hitter just come across with the bat, and then makes your slider effective because you think it's a fastball and you go over the top.
He definitely stays on the inner half to right-handed batters frequently. Rarely does he go away.
And he walks Swisher on 4 pitches. So that brings Melky, arguably the Yankees' hottest hitter, up as a tying run. Now, there's nobody throwing at this point in the Rays bullpen. Now there's some movement out there as we speak, but nobody has been throwing. So J.P. Howe, again, every pitch he throws, a new season high, will go up against Cabrera.
J.P. Howe was a workhorse for the Rays last year. Consecutive days, multiple innings.
High fly ball, left field. Crawford. And that'll do it here in the 7th. So Howell works a scoreless 6th and 7th. Yankees strand 1. We take this baby to the 8th inning. It's 6-4 Tampa Bay. Well, fans, don't miss the WB Mason postgame with Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty. Get all the highlights from this game against the Rays and a wrap-up of the rest of the majors. Plus, we hear from the clubhouse and Kimberly Jones. It's the WB Mason postgame after the final out right here on Yes. Veras deals to Kapler low and inside 1-0. So Veras gave up a run in the 7th, and he's back out there to pitch the 8th. 6-11-0, leading 4-8-0. Way outside.
We mentioned that Zobrist can play all three outfield positions. Same applies to Kapler. It gives Joe Madden extra flexibility, particularly with his outfield. His infield is kind of set. Everybody stays healthy. Although if somebody does go down, he's got Zobrist to play anywhere in the infield.
They call Zobrist their super utility man.
And you got Willie Ibar, who can play in the infield just about everywhere. They've got Gabe Gross, can play just about everywhere in the outfield.
Pena. One away. Well, fans, tonight throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the three of us here in the booth for the Chevrolet Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. And tonight's candidates are number 1, Evan Longoria, number 2, Jason Bartlett, number 3, Johnny Damon, and number 4, Hideki Matsui. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here's Iwamura. Fouls it back. Iwamura was a third baseman in Japan and a Gold Glove winning third baseman. And he was the third baseman his first year here. But then there was a young fellow by the name of Longoria who was ready to come up, and they moved Iwamura over to second. So after 6 Gold Gloves at third in Japan, he's actually turned into a very good second baseman. And that's hard going from that side of the diamond to the other side, and especially turning the double play where your back is to the runner. And he has not had any problems whatsoever. And last spring training, he and Bartlett were inseparable. They went out together. They lockered together. They played every game at second and shortstop together just to get to know each other, where they like to feed, stuff like that. And they turned into a pretty good double play combination. The 1-2. Breaking ball, strike 3. Iwamura down looking.
Well, another knee buckling breaking ball, and this is what the Yankees saw from Veras last year so often when he got it working and got into a good groove. And that's what manager Joe Girardi talks about. We got to get this guy going. His stuff is too good. We got to get his confidence going.
When a left-handed hitter has a problem with a right-handed pitcher's breaking ball, you know it's a good one.
Here's Navarro, 0 for 3 tonight. And a strike along with Ken Singleton and David Cohn on Michael Kay. And you're watching Yankees baseball here on the Yes Network. And we thank you for spending part of your Thursday evening with us. Top of the 8th inning. And the Rays lead the Yankees 6-4. Trying for a sweep of this mini 2-game set. Oh, 2. Certainly not the 4 games they envisioned with their division rivals, losing 2 to the Red Sox and now in danger of losing 2 to the Rays. But they still have 6 outs to go to make up this 2-run deficit and end the homestand in good fashion. And the 0-2. Grounded softly towards second. Cano waits. And that'll do it. So he gets him on the splitter. And Veras likes what he did. He retires the Rays in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yanks down by 2.
made a nice play to catch that home run off the bat of Hideki Matsui, and that's our Land Rover drive of the game.
Another use for the long arm of the law. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. A new pitcher for the Rays. It's Dan Wheeler, as the Yankees will have Pena, Cervelli, and Jeter try to mount some sort of rally here. Want to remind everybody that Sunday on Yes, don't miss an all-new episode of WB Mason Presents The Joe Girardi Show. The skipper recaps this week's series against the Red Sox, Rays, and the Orioles, including an update on the injuries and roster moves. It's an all-new Joe Girardi Show, Sunday at 5:30, only on Yes. A lot to talk about on that show, so definitely tune in.
See Dan Wheeler this season, 11 games. ERA's a little high, 9.1 innings, 9 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. Came in last night, got a big strikeout of Derek Jeter. See Pena on the day. Dan Wheeler's a former teammate of mine, singing with the Mets. He's been around.
The big wheel.
Actually started in Tampa Bay, went to the Mets, Houston, back to the Mets, Houston again, and then found his way back to Tampa Bay. And he's really a solid relief pitcher. Very consistent, good control, very reliable.
Bunted, third base, fielded by Longoria, and they get, oh, what a play by Longoria. Just nabbed Pena. That was a pretty good bunt. And Longoria charged quickly. And you know he's going to add a Gold Glove to his arsenal.
Here's the IOTV HD super shot, and you can see Longoria. The key is that, well, he went with the glove. Usually you see third baseman go with the bare hand. He decides to go with the glove. There's the throw. I'll tell you what, Pena's been out at first base on some close plays. In fact, last night he was safe. Tonight he is out. You can see Pena's foot coming off the bag.
And here's Cervelli. Line drive into left center field. Giving chase is Kapler. He's there. And he puts it away. So Cervelli is 0 for 2 on the night. And that's going to bring up Derek Jeter. Derek tonight 1 for 3 with a walk.
Well, if you're Dan Wheeler, this is when you want to face Derek Jeter with nobody on base. Wheeler was a big part of the bullpen for the Rays last year in their World Series run. Appeared in 70 games, a 3.12 ERA. Actually had 13 saves out of 18 opportunities last year.
That happened because Percival went on the DL for a while. Right now he wants to keep Derek off base because you got Johnny Damon coming up next, probably, as you said, David, the hottest Yankee hitter. Damon's 3 for 4 tonight, and he'd represent the tying run if Derek Jeter could get on board.
Well, Dan Wheeler probably rest assured that he's never going to get ripped by the television broadcasters of the Rays. Dwayne Statz, the play-by-play man for the Rays, happens to be his father-in-law. So that would be very awkward at Thanksgiving. Line drive, a base hit to left center field for Jeter.
Yeah, Wheeler is married to Dwayne Stat's daughter, Stephanie, who years ago used to help out in the booths, on the road booth down at Tropicana Field. That was a breaking ball in the middle of the plate. And that's what's supposed to happen to it. It's supposed to be hit hard. Jeter does, and it's into center field, his second hit of the night. And it does bring up Johnny Damon, who represents the tying run.
There's Dwayne Statz with his broadcast partner Kevin Kennedy on the left.
Wheeler's given up 3 home runs in 9 innings. And it's not a good ratio at this point of the season.
Driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Tie game. 2-run shot, Damon. It's 6-6.
Well, now it's 4 home runs in less than 10 innings given up by Dan Wheeler. And Johnny Damon comes through after the base hit by Derek Jeter. Johnny has hit his team tying for the lead with Nick Swisher. 7th home run of the year. And his 6th here at the new Yankee Stadium. He loves this place.
Here's Teixeira, and he drives one deep to right center field. And cutting in front of Kapler is Zobrist, and he puts it away for the final out of the 8th. But the Yankees tie the score. A 2-out single by Jeter. And then Johnny Damon, who has been red hot, deposits one into the second deck in right field. He's now 4 for 5. He picks up his 7th home run of the year. Johnny Damon getting a lot of love from the fans in left field. A lot. As he ran out there chanting his name, and he acknowledges the cheers. And they've had a lot to cheer about with Johnny tonight. 4 for 5 and the game-tying 2-run home run. Now, all they need is have something wrong with Cervelli. They have no other catchers, and Gene Monahan tending to Cervelli's eye.
Sort of brings up an interesting question, you know, for the worst case scenario kind of thing. If you do need an emergency catcher, who could do it? It's always a big question for major league teams. I mean, it's very rarely happens, but you know what? You should have that plan. And I don't know if Baroa's ever caught before. Or we know Brett Gardner can't do it. He's left-handed.
Well, manager usually looks up and down the bench for a volunteer. Swisher, he'd do anything.
But to find a left-handed catcher's mitt.
Well, Joe Girardi is now going to call on Mariano Rivera. He had Veras come out to warm up so that Mo had time to warm up. Tie game, 9th inning. You come on back.
Well, who else for the Geico play of the game in a one-man wrecking crew? Johnny Damon wearing out that second deck at Yankee Stadium. They're going to have to rename that Damon's Corner. 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs so far. Johnny Damon, he showed up to play. Geico play of the game.
Damon's deck.
Well, now we are in the 9th inning. It's a 6-6 game. The Yankees have made up deficits of 4-0 and 6-4. Mariano's on. He'll face the top of the order. Here's Bartlett. Foul back.
A nice talk with Mariano before the game in the locker room, in the clubhouse, and you can see what's going on so far this year. And walk the batter in 10 2/3 innings, and that's what I was talking to him about, his impeccable control. When he came into the game last night, he hadn't pitched in 6 days. So I asked him, do you throw in the bullpen on the side just to stay sharp? He said, no. He says, you know, he might play catch, you know, in the outfield before the game, but he says he likes to save the ammo for the real action. And to me, it's amazing that he can just come in and paint the corners.
Well, the thing about Mariano is as he's evolved over his career is that he is an extremely intelligent pitcher. He knows what he's doing out there. He watches the game. I love talking pitching with Mo. Knows how to attack hitters. Talks to the other pitchers on the staff. Really well respected. Highly intelligent pitcher.
Don't lean out there. Don't be leaning too far towards that outside corner. This is more of a message than anything else.
Excellent pitch on that count.
Old school.
The 1-2. Foul away.
You know, I agree with that, Singy. You know, I was that way at the end of my career. Save those bullets. You know what you're doing. His mechanics are flawless. He repeats his delivery as well as anybody in the game.
Swing and a miss. Bartlett down swinging.
Classic up and in, down and away. And watch Cervelli giving that good target down low. He's been watching Molina. And that is just picture perfect. Late movement.
And a lot of it was set up on that pitch that was up and in. Remember early in the bat, he went out there and had a good swing at a pitch out over the plate. Mariano, you saw that. Okay. You want to go out there and see if you can go out there and hit this one.
Here's Crawford. Comes in with the cutter, misses inside, 1-0. 6-6 game. Yankees looking to snap a 4-game losing streak.
One corner to the other.
And another strike, 1-2.
I really like the way Cervelli's setting up back there. Good target. Look at that target. Bam, right to the glove. Just runs across the outside corner.
Just spoiled that one, and this is what Crawford does. He does spoil 2-strike pitches.
See, he's setting up off the corner outside, and the ball's going to run this way back to the outside corner. So with Mariano Rivera, that's what you want. Almost setting up off the plate, because his movement will run back to the plate.
Coming into this game, Crawford had fouled off 101 2-strike pitches.
You know, the thing about it, Michael, and we saw this over the years, he's become more adept at doing that, because when he first came up, when he got 2 strikes, he was swinging the balls up in his eyes, down in the dirt. Just to avoid striking out, he would strike himself out. And now he's getting to the point where he's more selective and knows the strike zone better and becomes more of a difficult out.
Well, Mo does not want to put him on base to count 2-2. Yankees have kept him from stealing today, and he has had a streak of 9 straight games with a stolen base. Count full of 3-2.
Take a look. You see Cervelli setting up right there, and this ball just kind of stays there. It's more true. As you see, it's just off and maybe a little up. See Mariano Rivera using all 4 quadrants.
That one's driven deep to right field. Fair ball, it's trouble. It is gone. It is a 7-6 Rays lead. A solo home run for Carl Crawford. That's his first of the year. Mo did not want to walk him, so he puts it right in there, and Crawford connects for a home run. He has not homered in his last 258 regular season at bats dating back to last June.
Cutter inside, misses for a ball. There's one over the outside corner. Again, dots the corner. Spoils a pitch. Spoils another one. Spoils another. That might have been a ball. Up and in. Out over the plate. And that was the first pitch to Longoria. And here comes the home run to Carl Crawford. His first one. Going back to last year.
See Mo talking to it. Go foul, go foul. And I tell you what, 3-2 count. You got to give Carl Crawford credit there. That was a really nice piece of hit, and he kept that ball fair. That was not a bad pitch. He was cutting in on him. That guy right there deserves credit for that.
First home run for Crawford since June 27th last season. So Mo gives up that home run. He gave up the Jason Bay home run, and you usually don't see that with Mariano Rivera.
3-2, as Michael said, he doesn't want to walk him. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Say, nice piece of hit.
See, once again, though, that's the danger of coming inside. Even though Mo's got a good cutter, you keep the ball away. Crawford's not going to hit it out of the ballpark. If he hits it well, it's going to be straight away center.
That one's driven deep to left field. See ya! A home run for Longoria. And how about that? The Rays go back-to-back against Rivera. And they now lead 8-6. Well, that is hard to believe. He gives up back-to-back home runs. So 2 home runs to 2 batters. He gave up 4 home runs all last year.
You can see that ball run right back to the middle of the plate. Mariano knows it. There's always a danger when you give up a home run prior to Crawford, that you're going to have a little bit of a letdown. That ball runs to the middle, and Longoria does not miss it.
No, he's too good a hitter. His second home run of the game.
10th of the year. He now has 3 ribbies and 38 on the season. Crowd kind of a stunned buzz here in Yankee Stadium. Not used to seeing this dazed look on people's face. And Joe Girardi goes out, wants to talk with Mariano.
Earlier this season in Boston, in the 9th inning, Jason Bay, that tied the score. The Red Sox went on to win that game, and then Curtis Granderson hit one in the 9th in Detroit. The Yankees did win that ball game, though.
So he has already matched his home run total surrendered from last year. Just a shocker. A big home run by Damon, and then right back come the Rays with back-to-back home runs in the 9th against Mo. Popped up. Cano is there, and there are 2 outs.
Well, it shows you the many weapons that the Rays have, and even though their record isn't where they want it to be, as you see, Girardi's going to make a change right now and try to save some bullets for Mo. Speed and power on that Rays lineup. Just a matter of time before they bust loose.
So Joe takes the ball from Mariano. He will depart. Very rare sight to see Mariano taken out of a game. Stay where you are.
She's clearly disappointed, but you know, at this point he gave up 2 home runs in that inning. You know, there's a chance you're going to need him again tomorrow night. Let's go ahead and save the bullets. We saw an emotional letdown after the Crawford home run, and then the pitch to Longoria that drifted towards the middle of the plate. That a hitter like that's not going to miss, as you said, Singy. But at this point, it's just to go ahead and save the bullets. Pull the ripcord, and he'll be back in there tomorrow night if needed.
David Robertson deals to Pat Burrell. Mo has given up 2 home runs in an outing just 3 previous times in his career. Grounded to short. Jeter's there. And that'll do it. Can the Yankees come back from the shock of Mo giving up back-to-back home runs in the top of the ninth? Well, they've got a rally in the bottom of the ninth. They are trailing 8-6. Us here in the booth.
Well, without a doubt, we're going to look at Evan Longoria. You see Nick Swisher try to climb the wall. No chance on that one. Chevy, player of the game, Evan Longoria with a couple of home runs. Had a great defensive play. You see the last one against Mo right there. And then that's a no-doubter. So Evan Longoria doing with the bat and the glove. Gold glove player, home run hitter, great all-around player. Chevy player of the game, Evan Longoria.
Just 23 years old.
Well, Brian Schaus comes on with Matsui and Cano due up. So he's trying to, Joe Madden is trying to counteract the two left-handers. You see what Schaus has done. Matsui 1 for 3, had a home run in the fifth. 1-0.
Same situation as last inning. You need to have at least one man get on base to bring the tying run to the plate. It worked last inning. Will it work here?
Matsui grounds out to Schaus. And there's one away. Hey fans, don't miss the WB Mason postgame with Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty. Get all the highlights from this game against the Rays and a wrap-up of all the games in the rest of the major leagues. Plus, we'll hear from the clubhouse and Kimberly Jones. It's the WB Mason postgame after the final out. It's right here on Yes. Might wonder the last time Mo left in the middle of an inning. It was April 27th of 2007 at home against Boston, and he pitched 1/3 of an inning, 3 hits and 4 runs. Grounded softly back to Schaus, and the Yankees are down to their final out. And Joe Madden is going to signal to the bullpen. So Schaus does his job. That's his job. Get out left-hander. So they will go and call on the righty to try to get Nick Swisher. Yankees are down to their final out as they try to come back from an 8-6 deficit. Well, tomorrow night on Yes, the Yankees head back to Camden Yards to start a weekend series against the O's. Alex Rodriguez returns to the Yankees in the cleanup spot in the lineup. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Ken Singleton and I have the call from the booth. The Yankees against the Orioles tomorrow starting at 6:30 only on Yes. Joe Nelson will try to close this out with Nick Swisher at the plate. Swisher swings and misses at an off-speed pitch.
Well, I just assumed we were seeing Troy Percival come in, but obviously not. It's Joe Nelson here. Got a 2-run lead with 2 outs in the ninth.
And a closer would like this sort of save because this is a save. You get 1 out. A save is either a 3-run lead in the ninth or the tying run on deck. And the tying run is on deck. So this will be, if he gets it, a 1-out save for Joe Nelson. Closers want to capitalize on those opportunities. We just looked it up. First time in his career that Mariano Rivera has ever given up back-to-back home runs in a game. So a lot of shock value to what happened tonight. You just expect him to be great all the time because he is great all the time. And I don't think you get much of an argument when you say he's the greatest closer in the history of baseball. And when he falters, it's a shock. But when he falters in that way, it's even a bigger shock. It's like a seismic shock. A blooper here, a slow roller there, you understand. But when he gives up bombs, it's hard to believe. And there's 4 of them this year. Strike 3, Nick Swisher down looking. And an awful, awful homestand ends for the Yankees. They lose this one 8-6. They have a 5-game losing streak, their first 5-game losing streak ever under Joe Girardi. And I think this team needs to get on the road because sometimes you need that to clear your head, just get away from home and just concentrate on baseball. And that is the situation that the Yankees find.